brains and brawn, running the numbers on which genius in Ben 10 is the strongest. Ground rules. We will be considering only aliens that have some form of enhanced intelligence referenced in their wiki entry. While nearly every alien species in Ben 10 is smarter than humans, we will only be going over these elite. We will only be considering the base aliens, no ultimates, no fusions. The contestants will have no equipment. This is a measure of their physical abilities, not their intellect or inventions. The contestants will be assessed as they appeared in the present of the final installment of the series. Temporary power boosts/losses will not be counted. This list is not limited to aliens used by Ben himself. We will include other intelligent species such as the Contamelia as well as certain individuals. Meet the contestants. Brainstorm, Contamelia, Dr. Animo, Dr. Victor, Gray Matter, Gutrot, Inspector 13, Juryrig, Professor Paradox. Let's begin. We will look at each alien's physical abilities and talents to determine who could beat who in this theoretical arena. Brainstorm. This titan of evolution is potentially the strongest psionic in the universe. His mental abilities allow him to shield himself from harm, throw his opponents like toys, analyze their next moves to perfectly counter, and control or shut down their minds. With his sharp pinchers and durable shell, Brainstorm is also decently equipped for contact combat. In addition, his electric powers gives him a potent ranged attack. His major weakness is the breathing apparatus on his belt, which this semi-aquatic arthropod relies on for respiration in dry environments. Brainstorm could defeat Gray Matter, Juryrig, Dr. Animo, Gutrot, Inspector 13, Contamelia, Professor Paradox. Contamelia. This fifth-dimensional being is the only contender that can challenge Gray Matter in intellect. But in combat, things are very different. As a fifth-dimensional being, they do not possess a conventional body, so whether they can be harmed, let alone be incapacitated, is questionable. Assuming they can, then they will almost certainly fall, as their propensity for placid observance means they likely will not even fight back. Contamelia could defeat no one. Dr. Animo. This forsaken scientist is probably Ben Tennyson's greatest enemy, and easily the smartest human on Earth. Having vexed Ben with his mutated animals for nearly 7 years, and once taking control of an entire dimension in the process, Animo is the least desirable person to trifle with. His physical body has morphed over the years, changing with Animo's environment and current scheme, but the one who must join us today is easily the scrawniest of the bunch. Having only claw-like fingernails and blatantly average agility, Dr. Animo's stature is not designed to fight, a fact he would rectify in more than one future timeline. Dr. Animo could defeat Gray Matter, Contamelia, Juryrig. Dr. Victor. This monster of a man is possibly the second smartest mortal in the universe. So intelligent was Dr. Victor he caused the celestial sapiens to retcon this intellect from the rest of his species when he brought the Vladbats back from extinction. In light of his sins, Dr. Victor joins us as the best martial fighter on this list, possessing strength enough to lift a tank, durability against heat, cold, and the vacuum of space, and the power to fire massive electrical blasts. This Transilian powerhouse is one of the strongest fighters here today. Dr. Victor could defeat Gray Matter, Juryrig, Inspector 13, Gutrot, Contamelia, Professor Paradox, Dr. Animo. Gray Matter. This tiny frogman is canonically the smartest alien in the Omnitrix, members of his species being responsible for the creation of other life forms such as the galvanic mechamorphs. And that intellect helps on the battlefield with identifying and activating pressure points to immobilize opponents many times his size. But this won't be enough to stop everyone. His lack of defenses and physical fitness means this little guy likely will not last long in a fight against higher weight classes. Gray Matter could defeat Inspector 13, Contamelia, Dr. Animo. Gutrot. This living chemlab is potentially one of the most dangerous species in all of Ben 10 due to his ability to produce volatile and toxic gases. While we have very few appearances to measure exactly how powerful Gutrot is, check out my theory video on his power level. Link in the comments. His metallic body gives him durability and strength superior to most other contestants. Combined with ranged capacity to KO any opponents, Gutrot will be hard to beat. Gutrot could defeat Gray Matter, Inspector 13, Juryrig, Contamelia, Brainstorm, Dr. Victor, Professor Paradox, Dr. Animo. Inspector 13. This emotionless former weapon master cares not for the preservation of life. Inspector 13 has intimate knowledge of many beings' biology and has enhanced agility compared to Terrans. But his fighting prowess is lacking as he prefers to use technology to do his bidding. But he won't have those in this fight. Without his technology, can Inspector 13 stand against opponents with actual powers? Inspector 13 could defeat Gray Matter, Contamelia, Juryrig, Professor Paradox. Juryrig. This red gremlin has a knack for ripping mechanisms apart, putting them back together, and watching them fall apart again. Easily the nimblest contestant here today, Juryrig's sharp claws and teeth combined with his uncanny speed are a clear advantage over all of his opponents. His main weakness is a lack of thinking things through and getting easily distracted. Juryrig could defeat Gray Matter, Contamelia, Gutrot, Professor Paradox. Professor Paradox. This Time Walker is banned from approaching Alien X. Having discovered time travel on his own, then spending millions of unaging years stopping villains from destroying the world, Professor Paradox is arguably the most powerful being in Ben 10. He will have a severe handicap in this fight though. The required forfeiture of equipment means that both his staff and prosthetic, which contains his chronal navigator, are not allowed. Without the chronal navigator, it is unknown if he can access his powers. He has fighting experience without them, but will this be enough? Professor Paradox could defeat Gray Matter, Inspector 13, Contumelia. Honorable mentions. The following are aliens that display the potential for superintelligence, but lack the concrete evidence to back it. Synaptak. This floating brain is second in command of the Galactic Enforcers. Despite his massive cranium and classical psychic abilities of telekinesis and shield generation, plus identifying the chocolate Ultimo consumed to be the source of poison in his system, Synaptak lacks credible evidence of superintelligence. Ian. This alien from a different time was the most powerful antagonist in the franchise until the retcon that wiped out the Cronian race. But though he has proven capable of manipulating the Omnitrix, the hands of Armageddon, and perceiving events happening in hyperspace, and all this in spite of his body being withered by overuse of his time powers, the claim to superintelligence is beyond Ian. Silenoids. These artificial life forms are living machinations with organic brains. They are often employed as advisors and judges, even being trusted with rendering a verdict by the Court of Celestial Sapiens. Despite these credentials, there is little to no evidence of silenoids being superintelligent. Cosmic Mom. This angelic figure is a being that resides above the 26th spatial dimension. She appeared on Earth to retrieve a piece of highly destructive level 20 technology that was really just her child's toy. Despite the incomprehensible perception of spatial dimensions and familiarity with such powerful technologies, there is no evidence to conclude the Cosmic Mom or her species to be superintelligent. Powers and weaknesses have been analyzed, likelihood of who could beat who is assessed, and we now come to this very close conclusion. The winner is Gutrot. For as immensely powerful as Brainstorm and Dr. Victor are, Gutrot is the only contester able to reliably KO all other competitors. The walking war crime wins this competition. Thanks for watching. If there is legitimate error in this assessment, or if there is a character I failed to consider, let me know in the comments so we may revisit this topic. Until then, it's hero time. Resources. https://ben10.fandom.com/wiki